Ever since the Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade, reproductive rights as an election issue have been pretty important. But in states like New Jersey, it's less about whether or not people should have access to reproductive care. It's more about whether or not those federal dollars are enough and how those dollars will be distributed to every community that needs access to these services. And that's our issue on Your Voice Matters.
We are absolutely hearing that protecting the right to abortion is a key motivating factor for voters in New Jersey and across the country.
Reproductive rights is something that I do care about, and it will be why I'm voting come November.
I would say it definitely matters.
That would affect how I would make a decision on who I will vote for.
I'm a child of the 70s. I'm concerned about that.
If that's really what's on the table, yes. I think that we need to vote. I do.
New Jersey has positioned itself to be a leader in reproductive rights even before the Supreme Court's historic decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Governor Murphy has promised that the Garden State will remain a safe haven for women's health, even despite pushback from groups both in the legislature and in court. In January of 2022, the governor signed the Freedom of Reproductive Choice Act, codifying the right to an abortion into constitutional law. 5 months later came the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Since then, New Jersey has made a number of reforms. As states began restricting abortion access, New Jersey passed a law in July of 2022 protecting healthcare providers and out-of-state residents from prosecution. In December of the same year, the Attorney General allocated millions for expanding the pool of abortion providers, while the state issued a requirement for comprehensive abortion coverage from banking and insurance groups. In 2023, the state allocated funds to improve security at reproductive health care centers. Months later, the state launched a reproductive health care information portal. And this year, the state began allowing pharmacists to provide contraceptives without a prescription. Pro-life organizations within New Jersey, including NJ Right to Life, have called the state's Freedom of Reproductive Choice Act an extreme and radical law that ignores science and endangers the lives of women. In a 2023 poll sponsored by NJ Right to Life and Marist, 1/3 of registered New Jersey voters identified as pro-life, and a quarter of registered voters believed abortions should be limited to the first 3 months of a pregnancy. In 2024, state senators Joe Panaccio, Robert Singer, and Anthony Bucco introduced a bill to ban abortions after 20 weeks. But in a Democratic-controlled legislature, the bill saw no movement. New Jersey is one of a number of states in the country that took action to protect a woman's right to abortion, as other states instead passed laws to ban it.
21 states and counting have banned or severely restricted access to abortion and reproductive health care across the country. That means that not only is New Jersey a place for New Jersey residents to get access to reproductive health care, including abortion, but we've become a safe haven for folks from other states. On average, Planned Parenthood health centers in New Jersey are seeing about 100 patients from out of state every month.
We've always been a more progressive state, so when it comes to New Jersey, it's never been a worry. New Jersey has more secure rights, I'd say, than other states. There's other states who have very strict abortion laws right now: Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. So New Jersey is one of the more secure states in terms of being able to utilize your reproductive rights.
We do know, not just here in New Jersey, but across the country, the majority of voters do support the right to abortion being a right that folks have.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a brother of 5 sisters, and I come from families who have, because of reproductive rights, made decisions about their body that allowed them to go to college, that allowed them to increase their income, right? And allowed them to practice a form of sexual health that, is of their choosing and not what the government chose for them. And I would not want to see that overturned as it has been.
There could be a lot of reasons why a woman don't want a child, you know what I'm saying? So it should be their right to have an abortion.
I think it's all at stake. There's going to be judges, there's going to be lots of people that get put into place, and we either maintain the rights that we already have and hopefully take it a little bit further, or they're just going to keep taking them away.
We all come to this issue with our own personal values and beliefs. And most people agree that that decision should be made between a woman, a patient, her doctor, with her family. And that's who should be making these decisions, not politicians.